So now that I guess we've gone through some of the objectives and why people want to come work for your company, one thing I want to make sure that you're aware of is your legal obligations when it comes to hiring your first, second, third, fourth employee. You got to make sure you protect yourself. You got to get the right partners in place. You got to have an HR partner, somebody that can do payroll for you, and then your legal team to make sure that you have tight NDAs if that's the case, if you need that, and tight agreements, because if you think about it, one rogue employee could really sink your ship fast. And it's important to keep that in the back of your mind. And you mentioned that you have a lot of contractors, and one of the biggest things I see is the misclassification of contractors, where people are coming on as 1099 employees, but they're not classified properly, and that's the IRS is all over that. So those are things that you want to just make sure you address with your legal team to protect yourself. Yes?
I'm involved with several consulting companies, and they're actually auditing everyone right now.
Really?
So the state is going out and sitting down and looking at the payroll records of every 1099. And they're going to go after the consulting company for all of the taxes if there's no proof. And they give you like a month to prove, and if not, you have to go back and reclaim. So the last one I was dealing with had a $300,000 fine.
Wow.
But they were trying to get the paperwork quickly enough. So just want to be really careful with that stuff.
Wow, yeah, no, that's a good story there. And so you guys have any? Oh, sorry.
The state is actually visiting the consulting companies now with the audits. So the first I was involved with was a larger company, 100 consultants. The next one was 20 consultants. The state sends an auditor. They're really looking for your workman's comp. It's all tied to policy studies, everybody making their money for the state. But they start going through the process. Again, if your question, have they paid their taxes? Do they have workman's comp? Okay. So what happens is you get like a month period, and if you don't have quick proof, they will come after you and sue you for the amount. So the company with 100 people had an immediate debt of $300,000. Then you go to court and try to get your money back. So it doesn't take much when you have to write a $300,000 check. So just be really careful on what you're having to do to prove those people. That's new. It's only been last year.
Yeah, that's important.
I have a question for that lady. Is that from the state or the IRS?
Actually, it was state. However, they audited the IRS numbers as well.
Because I'm under a 4-year audit by the IRS right now, 10 to 20 years. And
As a company or as your institution?
but what they're looking at right now is where I pay people
Yeah,
in a
so
startup.
awful.
But if I don't have proof that I issued a 1099, I must pay the tax on those people to the IRS.
That's right.
So it's outside the statute of limitations, so the people could care less.
We're seeing audits for workers' comp, and then we're seeing audits for taxes. And both of them, from an employer standpoint, are security.
My exposure is small, but I didn't know that was a regulation that I had, because it was a little tiny one-person business. So I never issued a 1099. At least this was to other businesses. So unless it's a C corp, like if it's an LLC, you have to prove it was a 1099. If it's a C corp, you don't.
The one company of 100 and some odd consultants made everyone convert to C Corp. Will no longer hire a traditional corp to corp. Which for a normal small operator, I mean, even a developer, 100 quarter an hour or something like that, that's still a painful process. Because you have to do all your estimated taxes and everything.
So yeah, as you can tell, it's important to have your stuff dialed in. Make sure you just have it dialed in. Talk to your legal partners and get those things in place. So, yes.
I wondered how you guys did it when you were first starting. Daniel and I were talking about him starting his business, but with your first employees, did you do quick pay? Did you get a bookkeeper or a payroll specialist when you first started? Can you give us a little insight?
Sure. I know from our experience, we hired a third party. So, number one thing, get a good legal group, right? For us, the first things that they were pointing us down was more from intellectual property side, not so much the payment side, more of making sure we were protected on proprietary inventions, things of that nature. So all of our contractors had to sign that. But from a payroll and HR perspective, the last thing they want me doing is anything to do with payroll. and certainly same with my business partner. So we hired an outside firm, and that's good and bad, you know, and you'll definitely outgrow that pretty quickly. But even at small, you know, we were 3 employees and we had it.
Yeah, we weren't as buttoned up as we probably should have been. I mean, we use Sure Payroll to process our payroll. You know, we do an offer letter that we, you know, type up in a Google Doc of just, you know, basically you're an at-will employee, sign here, here's your salary, let's go. And that was it for a long time. And, you know, knock on wood, we didn't have any problems. But yeah, that, especially when you're small, you just looking for people, trying to create value when you think your company's not worth much, spending a lot of time and effort protecting that not much, you know, sometimes doesn't make sense, or at least it didn't to us.
For us, we used a lot of contractors in the beginning, especially engineering. We used Quick Left, which is a great consulting company in town. And so we had drawn up with our law firm. We did a lot with our law firm early on. We knew as a marketplace we would have a lot of, you know, potential regulatory things in the future, and so things were nice and buttoned up from the beginning, including a contractor agreement. As far as payroll, et cetera, we did this in the beginning, and we still do it now. Actually, we use a fractional CFO, which is fantastic. So that's a very popular thing with startups. CFO will have 5 to 10 different startups they work with. You see them half a day a week. Maybe they work with a bookkeeper or 2. And that really worked out well for us. They handled everything so we could just focus on growing the company.
Yeah, we did. We have one too.
Nice. So I guess we can move on here to after you got your legal stuff dialed in. Yes.
Can I ask you a question about the 1099ers? Were you so concerned that they weren't working for anybody else? Did you check to see? Because I think one of the things for the 1099er not being confused with an employee is do they have other companies they're going to work for?
Right, and with us, all of our contractors had multiple clients. Yeah, we couldn't afford them full time, so that was great for
Yeah.
us.
The rule is that they're supposedly supposed to have at least 2 within a year. So in other words, the idea is you change every 6 months. That's what their government definition is.
So if I have the same 1099er for more than 6 months, then I should fire them.
No, just be aware that is a 1099 or should they be corp to corp, and that is liability. That's all. That's what they look for. Within a year, if they